Hello, everybody. This is Christopher J. Roper running for Illinois governor. And tonight, as always, we have Melissa M. Clable. She is the chief of staff. Hi, Melissa. And a very,
Hello, how
very,
are you?
very special guest down below. I think it's below on your guys' screens as well. But we have Ant, conservative Ant. He's an awesome guy. How you doing, Ant?
Hey, good. How
We
are y'all doing today?
awesome. We're going to be talking about freedom and really the importance of the 2022 midterms, like nationwide. It's just everybody's I'll save it. I don't want to get jump into that one. But I'm very passionate about that subject especially. So as you notice, I tried to jump right into it, but let's give it a minute. We'll do it in proper order. But yeah, hopefully everybody's doing an amazing. Here in Illinois, we have most of us, I think, have snow. We got about 16 inches of snow, and the guy down below, I did a duet with him here. He was on the beach, living it up and nice and warm and bragging a little bit. So I went out and bragged. I went out and sit on in my beach, and it was about a little over a foot of snow. So, but it was
That
fun.
was a
It was
good
definitely
video.
fun.
That was a great video.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to bring some humor and some fun into the Illinois weather.
Yeah, right. I can't believe you guys got that much snow.
I didn't expect it. Usually the weathermen are like, "Hey, we're gonna get 30 feet of snow," and we get like a dusting. So it's like they actually hit it pretty head on. They did a
Yeah.
pretty good job. And I definitely want to give a shout out to all the snow removal crews that were out busting butt, getting our roads and parking lots cleared out.
Yep.
You guys did amazing. Thank you very much for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, and really, I didn't notice any bad roads, and we did have some pretty good winds kick up and a lot of drifting. And man, they're rock stars. They did it. They did it very good.
Yeah.
Something that I will say about Illinois is a lot of these cities do a really good job with snow removal. I have a lot of, just shout out to a lot of my family members that personally own construction companies and snow removal companies. It's a really tough time of year. But they do kick butt and they really do a good job for Illinois. So
Absolutely, and it's not an easy job. It's like an all night 24, as many hours as they have to.
nonstop, yeah.
So, yeah, it is. It's not for the weak, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I brought Ant on the show. First of all, I met him on TikTok. I started doing some TikToks. People are telling me, "Hey, Roper, you got to go try out TikTok. It's not like it used to be. There is a big conservative group there." And I'm like, "Yeah, huh?" And so I finally tried it, and I happened to meet Ant, and man, he's a rock star over there on TikTok. And really, it
Oh,
is
thank
true.
you.
TikTok is not a problem. TikTok really does have a very big conservative following, and I'm very impressed. Uh, I'm blowing up over there, and I'm just me. So and I'm just been blessed to meet so many great people that are fighting for freedom. And it's gonna take us all standing together and fighting. Put our differences aside. Just put our differences aside and fight for freedom. That's We are at war, and I call it, really honestly, we're at war against good and evil. We've got to stand up
Yeah.
and come together and fight. Stand up, fight, however you want to call it. It's the same thing in my book. It's We're standing for freedom. And I've seen a lot of Ant's his TikToks and his Facebook posts. He is on Facebook as well, and I'll let him plug himself here in a minute. He is a good dude. You guys ought to check him out. Um, but yeah, he's definitely a freedom fighter as well. And man, I can't applaud him enough. And I just wanted to get him on there so you guys could hear from him. He mentioned earlier, he is from Illinois, and I'll let him continue on that here in a minute. Uh, Man, just go ahead, Ant. Go ahead and talk about freedom. What is your importance and what is your views on that?
So I'm originally I was born and raised in Illinois. I grew up in Bloomingdale, Carroll Stream, Bartlett area, northwest suburbs. So um, I came to TikTok just like everybody else, kind of during the pandemic when everything was crazy, and I was just I wasn't a Republican, I wasn't a Democrat, I was just a ticked off Chicagoan. I was just mad that we went through another extended lockdown because of our leadership, and my video went viral. And that's what I think people need to understand is like there's extremes on both sides of the aisle. There's extreme Republicans, there's
Yep.
extreme Democrats, and I think most of America falls kind of in the middle because it's 2022, right? It's not that serious. Like we're here just trying to make a living. Like we don't care what you do. Don't bother me. Like you know. And so when all of these like racial issues come into play, we're really still talking about that. It's 2022. Nobody cares
Yeah.
about that. We just don't want the government in our business. And so when you say, Chris, that we're talking about like coming together and fighting as Americans, that's exactly how I feel. At least I try to put, because I call conservatives out all the time. You see my videos where I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, oh yeah.
conservatives, listen to me, stop. Like I try to stop them because they're like, Trump is coming back, he's dropping from the sky. I'm like, y'all, we're not there right now. Well, we need to deal with midterm. We need to deal with, primaries are coming up. There's a lot of seats that we can take back. There's guys like you and that are all over this great country that are fed up, and they're grassroots guys and gals, like they want to save their state, they want to save their country. So that's why when I saw you, I was like, okay, I can get behind this. And I've done it for other states as well. I don't live in Illinois anymore, so everybody that's watching can know I
Yeah, I'm kind of
did move.
jealous. I have to say this. You have, I think, one of the best governors I've ever seen in Ron DeSantis. Not saying I agree with
Yep.
every
Yes.
little thing he says or does, but he is doing a phenomenal job.
He is Trump 2.0, but better because he's able to articulate what I think what Trump really missed in what he could have grabbed more Americans with is the way he came across. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people thought it was refreshing that he was such a rough person. But
Real.
DeSantis, a real person, but DeSantis does it in a way where it's like people can relate to it. Like he's not as harsh. He's doing a great job here in South Florida. I feel sad for Illinois in a way because when I do come back and visit, I'm like, come on, you guys are Chicagoans. You guys are from Illinois. Like we used to have like colognes, like come on. And now, I go into these stores and everybody is just they're doing their thing. They're all masked up, and I'm like, man, and I'm the only one walking around without a mask, and I'm not from Illinois anymore. And people are like, well, how can I make a change? What am I supposed to do? You can vote. You could vote these people out of office that are running your state. There's school boards that need new people in them. Out.
Yes.
Vote for Chris Roper. Get the other guy out. I mean, there's things that you can do in every aspect of our government. Anybody can be, honestly, I hate to say, but anybody can be sitting at the presidency. We, the people who run this show, though, we run this. But if you don't do anything about it, they're going to run you. And that's what I'm starting,
Yep.
and that's what I'm seeing in Illinois. And it sucks, Chris. It sucks.
Definitely.
It does. And I hate to, it might look like I'm not really paying attention, but I have to play moderator over here on YouTube because there's a lovely person over there just putting up some crazy things. So I am paying attention, but I have to take care of this
I
business
see the
first.
comments. Yeah, I know you're
Yeah,
good.
yeah. And I said hide user, and I deleted the user, but I guess it's not letting me. Yeah, I'm not real good at this part of it yet. Okay, it says it was deleted. Okay, cool. All right. And you're right. And if we all stand up together and kind of go to the moderate, because I talk about this a lot, and radicalism on any side will kill freedom. Period. Because you're gonna and we keep doing this all the time, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right versus left. Damn it, let's just quit worrying about the sides and just all come together as human beings and stand for freedom, stand for you know life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what we all need. That's what we all desire, I feel. And man, I see. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up. The freedom convoy, man, I love
I
that
was
thing.
just going to say that. Yeah.
That is the most amazing thing I have ever seen, honestly.
You guys, who would have thought, though? that Canada would have been the tip of the iceberg. Like, who would have thought?
Yep.
You know, Canadians are like just so like, oh, it's fine, and they're like, no, like we're leading that. They're having their 1776 moment right now. Literally, they're having
Yeah.
their moment.
Yeah.
And I just saw a video before I came on live with y'all. There, you know, the police have been taking their fuel. They've been confiscating their fuel.
Yep.
So Canadians that are not part of the convoy but are just Canadian citizens are coming out and bringing them fuel now. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this has nothing to do about political sides, because a lot of Canadians are vaxxed. They've gotten vaccinated. Same with Italy and Germany and France and all over the world, that these other countries, they don't see it. America has a little bit of a we just have that like extra, like, no, like I'm not doing it. Whereas other countries are like, is this going to make you shut up? Fine, I'll do it. We don't do that here.
Right.
But, you know, it has nothing to do with politics. Now they're like, we did everything that you asked us to do. We did all that you asked us. We got the shot. We got boosted. We're wearing masks. We're wearing 2 masks. We haven't gone out. You took our tourism away, because we used to travel all over the world. And we went to Italy and Barcelona and Punta Cana and like all these beautiful places. They depended on American travelers. And now that we haven't been able to feed their economy for 3 years,
Right.
we're literally killing. They're dying.
Yeah.
And so they're like, dude, we are done. Leave us alone. We need to get back to normal now.
Absolutely. And you see, like, all these other countries now. America, we're supposed to be the freest country in the world, right? But then I see these other countries that are saying enough of these mandates. Enough. They're not working. They're causing more problems than helping, because quite honestly, it's not helping anything. So, but again, I don't make a disclaimer here really fast so I don't get hated on. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you want to get the
vaccine,
vaccine,
I agree with choice. Yes.
Yeah, it's freedom. But here we are in the freest country in the world, and all these other countries are dropping these mandates like crazy, and I applaud that. That's freedom. And then we have our neighbor to the north, our lovable Canadians. You know, they don't bother nobody. They don't mess with nobody. They don't get in an uproar. That's just not what Canadians do. But now they're like, you know what? I have had enough. And like you mentioned, a lot of them have been vaccinated and et cetera and so on, or I call it get the shot. You know, because it's not technically a vaccine; it's a shot. But
it's a shot.
Yeah, just like the flu shot. But anyway,
yeah.
So, but that being said, they're still standing up and saying, you know what? You can't force people to do that. That's not right. And man, who would, like you said too, who would have thought that Canada would be really honestly leading the charge to fight for freedom? Fight for freedom.
I know.
Now, I pray that we get that fire here in the United States and start standing up for freedom. This is going to hurt and help. I'm sorry, this is going to hurt if we allow it to continue, and it's going to help if we can stop it and get our government to finally listen to we the people.
Well, and that's the one thing that, and that's the one thing that I thought that we all stood together on as Americans is, look, I say this all the time when, you know, like, people, we shouldn't depend on the government. Like, we don't want the government to be in our lives. Government funded, government funding and government assistance and all that stuff, it's put into your society to help you when you need it. So I can agree, but that's money we've put into that anyway. It's our money anyway. I mean, really, you don't use it sometimes your entire life. But then you go on unemployment, you go on food stamps and stuff. I agree with that government assistance, but essentially it's our money anyway. So why are we thanking the government? But my point is the thing that we should stand together on is the government has no right to tell you what to do. The left should agree with that. I mean, they want to defund the police, right? So they don't like the government, really. I mean, they don't like authoritarianism. And the right doesn't want it either. So isn't that something we can agree? I mean, I don't know.
You would think, you know, and that's where I'm baffled, and that's why I keep pinching myself. Like, this has got to be a bad dream. It has to be. I'll wake up. I'll just pinch myself hard enough, and I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh, whoa, it's 1999 again or whatever, you know. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, we're all free again.
Yeah.
But it's not
Yeah.
going to happen. It's not a bad dream. It's bad government right now. It's bad
Yeah.
leadership,
Hmm.
and
Yep.
we have got to stand up and start running for office, voting, registering to vote, and let's not worry about the past anymore. The past is the past, but we do need a forensic audit. We have got to have a forensic audit nationwide. We've got to make right now our election systems. No, I'm hearing all over Illinois, and by the way, we've put right at 50,000 miles traveling all over Illinois, visiting. I call it visiting, not campaigning. Visiting with our Illinois family. The biggest thing that I'm hearing the most that brings me to tears as a patriot is why vote? Why vote? Why should I vote? It's not going to
I
matter.
know. I
Man,
hear
that
it
is the
too.
saddest thing ever. We can't give up. Don't give up. If you give up, you just let them do whatever they want.
Well, and I feel people on that. Like I get it.
Yeah.
I look. I said this right after the election. I was like, voter integrity. Now people are going to be like, why even vote? Right? You look at Virginia. You look at New Jersey. You look at these states
Yep.
Yeah.
that Youngkin didn't even think that he was going to. I mean, he thought nothing was going to come out of it. He didn't even want to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the turnout that I think that Virginia had like the record number of voter
Yep. Yep.
turnout that they've ever had. New Jersey, I don't remember the Italian guy's name, but I know he was Italian that went against Murphy.
Hmm.
Um, that was like razor thin numbers. Like
Hmm.
it was
Yep.
close. New Jersey is pissed off. Excuse my language.
Yeah. No, they are. Yeah.
But this is what I mean. This is what can change it. Listen, Pritzker. God, just saying his name,
Good.
it just makes me want to like gouge my eyes out. I mean, this is the guy. This guy is telling you to lock down and then fleeing and going to Florida and Wisconsin with his
Yep.
family. I mean, you've got to be kidding. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If my if somebody I knew told me not to do something and then did it, I'd be like, bro, you just said, right?
Yep. That's I can't stand people that talk out of both sides of their mouth. I can't
Oof.
stand that. And that's really what that is. It's like, do as I say, not as I do, because I'm in charge of you and I am your king. No, you're not. Shut the hell up. Listen to us. And that's what we need to do to our officials. They're there to serve us, to listen to us. And they're not doing it. They're picking up their own agendas, they're filling their own pockets, and they're robbing us. And it's time for us to stand up. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you fall, you got to understand that's affecting all of us. Period. So we have to stand up. And again, we got to vote. And don't give up on that. We will. There are many people fighting to make our election systems more secure. Like myself, I
Yeah.
think we need to go back to paper ballots, hand counting, layers and layers of watchers. You need a voter ID and a very strict process because, as we know, Rauner, before he went out of office here, he signed the for driver's license to everybody. Well, now you can get a driver's license. Well, then here recently, Pritzker had the thing come through and signed it saying, yeah, if you have a driver's license, you get a voter ID. Well, guess what? You could be from Mars and you can come to Illinois and you could vote in our elections, and it shouldn't be that way. We got to fix
No.
that, and it's a real simple, easy way to fix it, but we just have to do it, and we have to get the GA to be on board with it. And I think I could really talk to them and get them to understand, man, the importance of voting. It matters to all sides. It doesn't matter for one side or the other. It's all sides because if it happens to one side, it's gonna happen on the other side. That's just how it works. History, man.
Facts. Yeah.
History. Uh, and
And and here's another thing too, like what people don't realize. Look, so being from Illinois, coming from the Chicago suburbs, we have such a beautiful city. I mean, Chicago really is one of
it
the
is.
most beautiful
Yep.
cities in the entire world.
Love
Chicago
Chicago.
in this, oh my God, right, Melissa? I mean, the Cubs games
Yes.
in the summertime in Wrigleyville and like the hustle and bustle of, Michigan Avenue in the summer and the Bean and
Hmm.
all of it, right? It's the most
It's
beautiful
everything.
lakefront.
Everything. The whole package. Yes.
It doesn't feel like that anymore. And
No.
people are not coming to Chicago anymore. A, because they're turned off because they do need requirements now to get into places. But B, you have a mayor that is running her city into the absolute bottom, and crime is through the roof. And she's worried about, do you have a vaccine passport to get into a bar that's already been struggling for 2.5, 3 years, that's trying to stay above water. All these family owned places in Chicago that made Chicago, right?
Yep.
They don't care. And Pritzker doesn't care. He's like, I don't
He don't care at
care.
all.
I'm eating turkey legs out in Florida. I don't care what we're doing.
Turkey legs. Well, I guess he probably does need that size of drumstick, right? Because, yeah.
Oh God!
He's a big guy.
Look, I got so many jokes. That'll be my late night stand up. Okay, you guys haven't seen me. When you see me off air.
Yeah, this guy's a riot, man. But it's true. I mean, he has a lot of very, very good points. And, we need to end the mandates. The mandates should never have been, maybe, actually, no. There should never have been mandates. It should have always been about choice, freedom. And the government says, hey, guess what? This is what we know. This is what we can offer. Other than that, man, God.
Chris and Melissa, I think that if the government came out and said, over the last 3 years, look, this is what we know as of right now. We're also evolving with COVID. We have no solid, we're still taking other doctors' studies and trying to work everything out. What we recommend to Americans is that they do X, Y, and Z. And I bet you any money Americans will be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'll do it. But then when they're like, you must wear masks and get the shot, we're shutting you down. A draconian. I mean, that's what it was like, right? It was like a king and queen was running the entire place.
Yeah.
And people are like, wait a minute, shut up, girl. Wait, what? You want me to do what? You can't talk to me like that. I'm an American. You can't talk to me like that.
Exactly.
And that's what this administration is. That's how Kamala talks to you like you're a piece of garbage and nobody sees it.
So does Biden.
She's like, I've never even been to Europe. Okay, well, have you been to the border? No? Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's another problem. Our border crisis. Wow. But you ask the Biden administration, there's no problem down there. Are you dumb?
Yeah.
Do you have eyeballs? Do you have ears? I mean, come on.
The media is the biggest virus, anyways. We all know that.
It is.
Absolutely.
Social media, same thing. Information gets out so fast, and it could be wrong information, but that information got out so fast that so many people have already, they've already read it, seen it, reposted it 100,000 times, and then before everybody knows it, you tell a lie enough, eventually you yourself believe that same lie, and that's what's happening with mainstream.
It's only misinformation from one side.
Well,
only if we post it, it's meant. And here's my question to people that you really have to open your mind and think. And I always talk to both sides because it's just common sense. This is common sense stuff.
It is. Yeah, everything is.
Who are these people that are telling you it's misinformation? Why is it misinformation? You have to think about Dr. Fauci, okay? Why is he the only informed doctor on the face of the planet when we have all thanked and supported and appreciated findings of research from hundreds and thousands of great doctors all over the world, all through time, right? Since as long as we know it. But in this specific pandemic, in this specific situation, everybody else is misinformation besides Dr. Fauci. You have to think. You have to think. You can't be that blind to say, this is Jesus Christ. This is the guy. This is Lord Fauci. We everything he says is right. Well, what about that doctor that has a Nobel Peace Prize, but he said that COVID isn't really what y'all thought it was? That's misinformation. Stop telling people that. Don't tell. Why? Everything else that he studied was no misinformation. This is common sense. You don't have to be a Republican or a Democrat to know that.
You just have to be breathing, really.
You're right. You just have to be breathing. I mean, you don't even need two legs. You just need eyes and ears.
The brainwashing is real though, and that's a real problem. We've been, even
Mhm.
ourselves, we can be brainwashed, even on our side, right? Conservative sides. But that's what is great about the internet. If you really pay attention and you do research, think for yourself, research for yourself, research, research, research. Don't just go to one thing or don't listen to one person say something and then call it God-given fact because it's not always. So you've got to be careful, and there is a lot of misinformation. By the way, Dr. Fauci is the highest paid loser that I've ever met. I've never met him, but I've ever seen in my life. This guy is a quack, and he needs to get the hell out of there. He's fired. He's
Well,
fired.
for those that don't know, I'm also a part of Log Cabin Republicans and Outspoken, which is a huge gay Republican and conservative organization, right?
Right.
And we speak out a lot against the hypocrisy of the left and how they disenfranchise different groups in Black and Latino and gay communities and all that stuff. For the gay community, and I know y'all gay community in Chicago, I used to work at Hydrate and Spin and Roscoe's. Trust me, I've been on Halstead 100 million times. I know y'all. I know you cannot believe for 1 second that you're going to trust Fauci when he told you guys during the HIV and AIDS epidemic that you guys were the problem, right?
Come on.
It was the virus of gay people.
Yep.
So there's no way in hell you guys support him now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
This is why I love conservative Ant.
I'll call them all out.
Brother, you're awesome. And why can't people just I mean, here we go. Enjoy freedom. Love each other.
Yeah.
We're all people. We're not all going to agree with everything each one of us says.
No.
Promise you. It'll never happen. And we don't want it to be that way. How boring would this world be if everybody was the same way, thought the same thing, did the same things? No. That's why we're all different, but we all need to have one thing, which is life. And we need to enjoy each other and respect each other. We, even though you may hate what they say, but don't hate them. Don't hate them. Love them, because we're all human beings. Period. At the end of the day, that's all we are as human beings trying to make it. And so we just need to look out for each other, we need to get that unity back, because we've been getting divided as a human race or as Americans in general for years. Our government themselves and our mainstream media has been just dividing us and subdividing us and just so on and so forth. Right now, we're so in this pandemic. I said pandemic, it's the same thing. Is really, I think, one of the more final steps in their plan, their agenda. They're trying to divide us so thin that we don't get along with anybody. We won't talk to anybody. We won't look up to each other. We won't help each other. We're all just against each other. And then guess what? Big old government comes in and says, "I help you out. Here you go."
Well,
Come
it's
on, guys.
already
We gotta
happened.
wake up. Yeah.
We stopped talking to family members. We started fighting. We don't, there's friends that people have had for their entire lives that they're no longer friends with anymore. They've done it. That part is done. They've accomplished that. Unfortunately,
Right.
that because I will speak for myself, I have people that I will never talk to again. And it's because they are so radicalized and they just don't want to have a simple conversation with you. And they know, like, these are people that know you. Like, you've known me my whole life. Come on, you know that I'm not racist. You know that I'm not homophobic. Obviously, I can't. Well, I've been called homophobic. I'm gay. I don't know.
I don't know how that
that
works.
I'm
Let me
none
know how
of
that
these
works.
things. Right, funny how that works. Well,
Yeah.
even black conservatives, you're racist. Well, how is that possible? But
Yeah, I've
White
heard somebody call a black
supremacists. Yeah.
conservative
Mhm.
a white supremacist. Like, how is he a white supremacist?
Mhm.
He's
Yep.
black.
well,
Okay,
they
whatever.
they try to do that to what's the guy that was running in California, the Fox News contributor,
I don't remember his name, but I
Elder.
think I know.
Elder.
Elder.
Yep.
I think it was Elder. Yep. And why? Why do we hurl these insults to each other? Why won't you just be like, look, sis, I don't agree with you on this, so can we just not have this conversation right now? Period. And that's it. Done. That's what we used to do. What did we never talked about religion and politics, right? It was always
Exactly.
it was like a staple
Exactly.
in our civilization.
Yep.
And now, the second you sit next to somebody at Thanksgiving dinner, I'm like,
Yeah, because I
I'm
remember
gonna.
asking my
I
parents,
told my
"Who did you
dad
vote
once.
for?"
What was that?
I said, "I remember asking my parents as a kid, 'Who did you vote for?' Well, we don't talk about that."
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember
Yeah,
that too.
yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know who my parents voted for. Like they
Yeah.
didn't talk about it. It's your personal
no,
private choice.
yeah, no, you just didn't talk about that. And it's funny because, like I said, like I'll sit next to somebody. Christmas a few years ago, I sat next to my cousin who went to Southern Illinois University. He's a college student. He's super brainwashed. He's indoctrinated. Like done. He's gone. And I sat next to him like. I turned to my father and I'm like, "You're gonna have to move me. You're just gonna have to move me because I just can't. I just can't." And it's you guys. It took 5 minutes, and I was like, "What did you just say?" Because now we're gonna throw stabs at each other. So I had to move across the room because, and that's where we're at right now. It
Yeah.
sucks, but we've already been. It's the damage is done. It is, and now we
And
just have to try to build.
we have to, and we have to forgive and forget all sides. Because, like I said,
I know.
radicalism kills freedom. It kills friendships. It kills freedom. It kills everything. So we can't. We've got to get rid of the radicalism. Period. I don't care what side it's on. We just got to start really just again, like I said, understand each other. And you may not agree with people. So what? Doesn't mean you can't be nice and friendly and respectful and treat people with dignity. And I just don't know where that went. And I kind of do actually, because I'm a gamer. I play video games. I run gaming servers. I know what people do in those games and how they talk to each other. It's all about the roast. It's all about the I'm gonna clown on you. I'm gonna make you look bad. That's all they care about, man. It's like, guys, so what? I'm not as good as you, or you're not as good as me. But who cares?
Right.
Who really cares? You wouldn't be good at all if everybody else quit playing and you were the only one. So it
Right.
takes everybody.
Yeah.
It takes everybody together to make up something. So we've got to remember that. It's a crazy, forgotten, lost, simple staple of life, and that is dignity, respect. It's
I
crazy.
feel like it all kind of changed over when Obama won his presidency the
It sure
first
did.
time
Thank you.
because well, minus his entire presidency, but like the fact that that's when we started like actually out loud like people virtue signaled. Well, white
Yeah.
liberals are the worst,
Yeah.
but I used to be a white
Well,
liberal.
right.
But they virtue signal, and what they do is they're like, well, oh, I voted for Obama because he was black. Like they do this whole like, I have a gay friend. Like white liberals are the worst people. I'm sorry, they are because they do this whole like white guilt thing and virtue signaling and da whatever. But that was around the time when everybody started saying who they voted for because they thought that it was a great idea to talk about how they're inclusive. Like I'm inclusive because we voted for Obama. Well, of course we all voted for Obama. Nobody was going to vote for the other guy. Look, I mean, he was
I
he was
think
an
I
old
actually,
white guy.
I think I actually Mitt Romney. I think I actually wrote in like Incredible Hulk or something silly like that
I
instead of
think that
because I
was the
didn't
year I
like either
voted
of them.
for Roseanne Barr. She was on there, I think.
Yeah.
It could have
Yeah.
been, yeah. By the way, Roseanne Barr. Now here, let's talk about this. So we had Whoopi Goldberg say what the heck she said, bashing the Jewish community and the Holocaust. Right? She gets a 2 weeks paid suspension, so a vacation. And Roseanne Barr made a joke, which she's a comedian. That's what she's always done, make jokes. She lost her show. They canceled her.
Right away. I mean, ABC took away before sponsors pulled out. They took her show.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why to this day I refuse to watch The Conners. I
Oh,
love.
listen. The second they pulled her,
Yeah,
I watched the first season because Roseanne was in it, and I stopped after that.
It was
that's
awful.
exactly what I did.
It's so
That's
bad.
exactly what I did.
So
Yeah, my
bad.
wife was like, "You won't do that." No, I will not watch it. What they did was horrible. You can't do that to people. Stop.
Right. And look, I'm totally not into so I am not into cancel culture at all. Like
Me neither.
the whole conservatives boycotting thing I think is so funny. Like y'all look culty, like stop. Because we just give them fuel, right? We got to stop giving them fuel. You got to stop. Like don't do it. In order for things to change, it's got to change within that company. So it's only going to come from the employees. Again, I digress. what I'm saying about the Whoopi Goldberg and the Joe Rogan thing and all that stuff is you have a choice to stop listening to them. That's fine. That's not boycotting. That's your choice to stop watching or listening to them. But people are starting to see the hypocrisy now because when you have people like Michael Rappaport making videos about Whoopi, and this guy, no Republican ever agreed with Michael Rappaport, however you say his name. All Republicans and conservatives hated him, right? Well, now you're starting to see his videos and he's bashing Whoopi, he's bashing ABC, like he's bashing them. And I'm like, yes, like and Joe Rogan's moderate. Like he's in the middle, like he has different opposing views. And so now you have people that are like, same thing, right, Melissa? You have people coming in, they're like, oh, I don't agree with, I'm from both sides. And that's where the unity comes from.
Yep.
Because they start to, Whoopi should have been fired within, she shouldn't have even ended up on the Colbert Show that night. Like she should have been done. Done.
Just, I mean, oh my gosh, probably one of the worst things in history, one of the worst things in history that she was making fun of, making light of. Oh my goodness, what
she's
goes through
she's an anti-Semite, right? That was an anti.
No, she's not. No, she chose the last name Goldberg. She can't possibly be anti-Semitic. She chose the last name Goldberg.
Right. Well, you know the Jewish community is wanting her to stop using that name now.
Well, I don't blame them. Do you?
Yes. I love it. I love it so much.
And let's change gears just a little bit. Let's talk about our schools here in Illinois. Now they're the no mask thing. You know, they found out it's BS. It's not working. It's actually causing a lot of problems, a lot of psychological problems, a lot of learning problems, a lot of problems. So some of the schools are now saying, you don't have to. Other schools are saying you have to. And I've been hearing some things that have literally, and since you used the word, I'm going to use it too, pisses me off. There are teachers that are segregating, dividing, splitting up students based on their face covering, based on their shot status. No, don't do that. I can't. No. We have got to defend and fight for our children. They are our future. Our youth is our future. And we don't know. We learned nothing from history. You don't segregate. You don't separate.
No. That's why we've gone backwards. That's the problem. You know, it's so crazy to me. So I had all of my Illinois parents obviously sending me all kinds of articles this week because a lot of schools went to choice. So specifically, I know Vernon Hills High School up in the north suburbs. Awesome. The kids walked out of class, walked out of school the other day, like they're done with the mandates too. The students stood up. And then Frem High School had a little bit of an issue, and I'm not calling out specific, like I don't want you guys to go after these high schools. I'm just saying the issues that I know of because, people are wild. That there's the masked kids are holding up signs and bullying kids that are not wearing masks.
Yes. And the school lets it happen.
And the school lets it happen. Listen, I'll guarantee 100% that there's an anti-bullying rule, whatever, in every school district, in every school. You don't race, religion, sexual orientation. You don't bully or harass another student. This goes for the same thing. I don't blame the kids. I blame the parents
and the teachers.
I blame the teachers. But why are these kids going to school?
The adults in the room.
Yeah, why are these kids going to school though? And the stories that I heard, I can't even say them here, that I heard that the masked kids were saying to unmasked kids. I mean, this is going back to segregation days. I mean, this is bad.
100%.
Oh yes. Yep.
And it's so, I'm going to have to wrap my portion up because I have to start my show here in about 15, 20 minutes. But it's such a night and day comparison to coming down to Florida and all of our playgrounds are filled and you see all of the kids in the high schools out in, the courtyards and they have no masks on. We've been doing that here in Florida. Illinois will get there I think, and other states have followed suit. Funny how they followed suit now that the CDC or midterms are coming up. The CDC is kind of saying, well, psychological
Time to
damage has
circle
been
back, right?
happening. Time to circle back. Little Jen Saki, circle back.
Yep, yep, yep.
But
It's atrocious. And I have to give before we go, I want to give the students that are standing up and going into class. There was hundreds going into classroom maskless, and they are saying, "I'm not wearing a mask," and the school kicked them out. Thank you, students. You guys are amazing.
keep doing it.
I support you 1,000%.
You have to. You have to.
I don't, you know what? So I wasn't popular in high school, but I wasn't a nerd either. I was also kind of like in between, but I was a very social person. And if I was in high school nowadays, you would be the uncool person to wear a mask.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I would be like, I'm not wearing a mask, dude. Like, if somebody's over there, I'm like, what? I'm not doing that. That's dorky. Right? No, I'm so confused on why the kids with the masks are the ones that are running it. No, but shout out to those kids that are walking out. Your parents did a good job.
Did a good job. I'm a Gen X, and I think I could tell you why. I think you're close to that, aren't you? Are you a millennial?
I'm 37.
Okay, so you're in that area. So we were raised differently, way differently. I got my butt spanked, and even in school I got swats. And you know what? I didn't mess around and play stupid games and win stupid prizes. I straightened up, and man, it's the difference in night and day of seeing what my kids are going through and doing now as opposed to what I did as a kid. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is. It's a different time. Thank you, Chris, for having me on. Yes. I know that I'm going to see you in a little bit. Yep. Come in when you're ready.
Sure.
We go live at 9. But Melissa, it was so nice to meet. I would love to come on again with you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we'll get you on again, Aunt.
Awesome. Awesome.
You guys,
all right. Thanks, guys.
First, tell people how to get a hold of you real quick.
So you can find me. You can find me on Instagram at Conservative Ant. They're kind of shadow banning me right now, but if you really look, you'll find me. And then I did have to change my name because I had a lot of fake accounts on TikTok. So it's _official_ant. And Conservative Ant, though, everywhere else. I do have a YouTube channel. If you want to see a little documentary on me and where I came from, you can go to YouTube and click on Conservative Ant and subscribe. Also, Facebook. Oh, Facebook. I have Conservative Ant on Facebook, too. So you can find me anywhere.
You can find him anywhere. Just look up Conservative Ant. Google or DuckDuckGo.
It'll come up, I promise. Yeah, Google it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you. Of course, I'll see you in a little bit, Chris.
All right. God bless.
Bye, Melissa.
Thank
God
you.
bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, man. He's just an awesome dude. Awesome dude. You guys really should check him out. And man, I tell you what, he's so fun to be around and talk with. He's a breath of fresh air. I could almost not talk. But I have to cut this short as well. He invited me on his show. So I'm going to have Melissa go ahead and tell everybody if she's got any notes to give out real quick. Thank you guys for joining in. And man, I really hope you enjoyed the Ant conversation.
Are you leaving or are you just staying here for a second? Yeah, I can go through some things if you got to go.
Yeah, I can go ahead and do
I
that.
don't have a lot. Well, in the time that it's taken me to say I don't have a lot, it could have been 10. So
well, I'll go ahead and
we've done a couple.
No, go ahead then. If it's not going to be very long, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, we've done a couple different rallies. Last Saturday we were in Peoria at the courthouse. We had other people standing out there. Yes, it was only 15 degrees, but people were out there for medical freedom. It's time. Everybody has to stand up, push back, stop sitting down, stop taking it. So that's what we did. That's what we did Saturday. And this coming up, we will be in, Midlothian on Thursday for the Illinois State Rifle Association meeting at Knutz's Pizza. And then I know there's something else coming up. There's a big Freedom Initiative primary roundtable. So a lot of the gubernatorial candidates will be at the Embassy Suites by Hilton, Chicago, and Naperville. And that is this coming Saturday from 3 to 5. So anybody that's in that area or wants to take a road trip, that's something you don't want to miss because it's the primary. I haven't even heard who all is going to be there for certain, but it's the gubernatorial primary candidates. We'll be having a roundtable, so that'll be a good time. And Monday we'll be at Tazewell County Republican Women's event at Freedom Hall in Morton, and that is for petition signing. So if you guys haven't signed the petition, again, back to the petitions. If there's a lot of people with the Chris's petitions out, get them signed, get the signatures. Chris, I don't know if you got in contact with everybody and just kind of see
No,
where
I have
everybody
not yet,
is.
but I will be. I will be contacting all of the people that are helping us. They're volunteering to get some of the.
Yeah. So and if you still want to jump in and help out with that, definitely contact me. Contact the page. We'll get you going on the signatures. If you haven't signed Chris's petition from somebody else at some point in time, get in contact with us. We'll make sure we get your name on that petition to get his name on the ballot for the primary election. So that will be
June 28th.
Yes. Yeah. And if you have not registered to vote, register to vote, register to vote, register to vote, just Google it and you'll find how to register to vote online. It's easy, it's simple. And then next Tuesday, I don't know if we'll postpone Roper Live or if we'll just what we'll do next Tuesday, but we've got a YANA meeting, which stands for You Are Not Alone meeting at Jamie's Outpost in Utica. So that will be definitely a good time. So that's my rundown for the last week this week.
All right. Always busy, always having fun, always fighting, fighting, standing for Illinois and our Illinois family.
Whatever y'all want to call it.
Yeah, you can keep going and going and going with it because we've got to all stand up together and we got to stop this totalitarian control that is being forced on us, like at the most rapid rate I have ever seen. It's it's scary, but if we stand up together, it's not, and we can do it together. We can, and we will, and we are starting to.
We have to. We have to.
Yeah, we have to. And it's really cool seeing the movement starting, and it is growing. And I support the truckers, the Freedom Rally, the Freedom Convoy, in Canada. But it's not only is it happening in Canada, it's starting to happen here in the States. It's happening in Britain and Australia. There's a number of countries that they're starting to stand up against these totalitarian controls. We it's imperative. It is imperative that we stand up now, or we will lose freedom worldwide. Let alone the Illinois or the United States, worldwide. They're trying hard, guys.
Yeah.
We have just got to try harder, and we can do it. We'll do it. We're very resilient. We're Americans, so let's get that charge rolling. So.
Yep, we still are.
All right, guys. I have got to run out of here, and I would love to stay a little bit longer, but I've got to go over there and talk with the Ant. I'll be on their channel. It's Freedom Fam. If you want to look them up over on YouTube. I'm going to be speaking with those guys over there, and get really cool group of guys that I've met off TikTok, and man, they're just cool. So support the truckers, support freedom, stand for freedom, stand tall, stand proud, stand American, stand free. Together, we are saving Illinois. God bless you guys. Have an amazing